Do you want to go through the questions first so we actually know what we're going to say?
No.
Okay.
Just off the cuff, wing it. That's the way I've always done it.
I might need to refer to my notes, so...
Well, you can refer to your notes while I'm asking the question.
Okay.
So, I thought about how we're going to introduce this.
Yeah.
Now we're here, I'm like, I have no idea.
Now then, hobbyists.
You had questions, we got answers. Chief Engineer's hosting.
Here we are, in the man cave.
In his man cave.
Move a bit closer.
You squeak a bit closer to me.
There you go.
There we go. I'll borrow your armrest as well. So there's questions that was asked, and we promised that we'd give you answers. So these are the answers.
Yeah. Honest and true.
Honest and true, off the cuff.
But I did make some notes.
You made notes, I didn't. So, first of all, introductions. This is the Chief Engineer.
This is an RC so-and-so.
And welcome to our answers video. So, question number 1.
Okay.
From Mr. Payne.
Let me get my notebook.
So, Mr. Payne asks, what is your least and most favourite Tamiya and why?
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Okay, so my favourite Tamiya, I would probably going to say the MF-01X chassis because it's so versatile. The problem I have with the MF-01X chassis that I use is with the Rally Beetle, and getting a duplicate shell is a nightmare. Today, obviously in Nuremberg, do you like how I pronounce that? GCSE German, that was. In Nuremberg, they announced a Mark II Golf, which I'm quite fond of. So hopefully that might fit, but we'll have to see when the specs come out. And I'm probably going to say my least favourite was that weird little one that you had and you sprayed green.
Not your bath.
No.
Fiat 500.
No,
the green.
Yeah, the one that you had. It was like a tiny 2-wheel drive thing, and it just kept going on its own.
Oh, the RX buggy.
The RX buggy, yeah. Hate it, basically. So, yeah, same question over to yourself.
Okay. Favourite, okay. MF-01X, really good. I've got it with a Jimny shell, which you've seen. But for me, I'd say it's the Blitzer Beetle.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good universal.
Yeah.
On that one.
Love the chassis. It can go anywhere, within reason, obviously. But it's fun. It's a great vehicle. That and the lunchbox.
I was going to say,
me, they're the two best. In my opinion.
Neither has mentioned lunchbox first of all, and I think it's because that was what the expected answer was. And as much as I love the lunchbox, I feel it's got its own entity of its own, really. Yeah,
it's the go-to RC for us in a way.
Yeah.
Because the fun.
Yeah.
And drivability when they're not on the roof.
Yeah.
But yeah, least favourite might be a bit controversial, but the Monster Beetle.
Oof, there we go. I had a feeling you were going to say that.
There's just something about that chassis, it just doesn't do it for me. It doesn't corner. It's always falling over. Also, you've got the rubber gaiters on the drive shafts at the back. The boots, they break, which I've never liked.
It's like the Blackfoot, wasn't it?
Yeah, they've improved the drive shafts now on the re-releases, but on the old one, the Blackfoot, the vintage Blackfoot we originally had, that it just broke all the time. So that chassis, to me, it needs a lot of improvements. Tamiya could make it a lot better, in my opinion. It's just mono chassis I don't like.
So there we go. Hope we've answered your question, Mr. Payne.
There you go.
God, I decided this is minging or if it's alright. Next question. A couple of questions here from Eek RC. Doesn't scare you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eek RC.
Eek RC. What was your favourite video to make, no matter what the views are? What do you like making?
I like it when we go random towns on adventures. One of my favourite ones that sticks in my head is Rill.
Yeah.
Because that's one of our first proper outings to a decent, real decent, to a decent venue to film in. The beach, the town, the prom, everything was great there. So, Rill, yeah, I've got to say that's one of my favourite.
I think Rill's really shaped the channel, because before then it was just, here's a car driving around a bit, and then we went to Rill. I do plan this year that I want to do Rill Revisited, which might be news to you.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
But I feel that there's more potential for Rill and more videos. And again, I suppose for myself, the type of videos that I enjoy making the most is the tour. The tours, not that I'm saying it's easy to do, it's when I'm editing, it's a lot more chronological. We've got going on the adventures to where we're going, which is always, part of the fun is the journey there, really. So I think, again, we might be doing more behind the scenes stuff this year coming up. If you don't want it, then I suppose you can watch videos about baking or something.
It's a mystery as well, because when we jump in the van to go somewhere on one of these adventures, we don't know how it's going to turn out, where we're going to go. Well, we know a rough destination, but we don't know until we get there how it'll play. So when we get there, anything can happen.
Yes.
Anything. We can have people there. There might not be any people there. We might have breakages. Might not have breakages. The weather.
Yeah.
That's another aspect. So going out to these places, it's
hit and miss.
It is. But getting in the van first thing in the morning and going, that's the exciting part.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing's gone wrong at that point.
No, not at that point. As long as the police don't pull you.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Multiple times.
Multiple times, yes. Another question from Eek RC is, what were your first RC cars from your younger days, and do you still have them? And if not, where did they go? Well, for me, I remember my dad taking me to a model shop in Ellesmere-Port, and I was very adamant that I wanted an RC car with sticks at the time, because it was just when the whole triggers came out, and I thought, no, sticks is the way you should do it. And as much as I wanted a Tamiya back then, the problem, I think, really with the old Tamiyas were that you needed like a car battery to charge them. And, it was the whole building the model and things like that, whereas, as a 10-year-old, for instance, you just want to get home and get it out of the box. And admittedly so, I had to charge it for like 2 days before it would do anything. Because as a kid, didn't really treat it well. I remember the bumper breaking, and my dad had to make like a little thing to put on where the bumper would be so the suspension didn't collapse. Where it is now,
who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. Also, being that age, I don't think our parents of that era had the time or the patience to actually help us build the Tamiya kit, in a way.
I understand what you're saying.
They were fiddly, weren't they?
They're fiddly. I remember going again with my dad to Manchester, and he bought me like a mini kit, and it was a Tamiya Fox. And it was only a small thing, but it was battery powered, and you didn't control it. You switched it on and it went forwards. And I think he had more fun building that than I did playing with it.
No.
No.
Well, when I was a kid, my dad bought me an RC car, and we built it. But I can't remember if it was Tamiya.
Yeah.
I haven't got a clue. So later on, when mid-teens, I bought Mad Fighter in yellow, and it was great. But like you said, I didn't have the right battery at the time. I didn't have the right charger. It was sticks, and played with it a few times until it broke. And I was in the loft, and then when we moved house, it just vanished.
Yeah.
So
the void.
Yeah, there was nothing. I do remember friends who had a Clodbuster. They had a lunchbox, Monster Beetle. I had something at the same time, but I can't recall if it was Tamiya or a different Japanese make, or if it was a ready to run, or...
I remember the old days of the adverts on the telly when you were watching Saturday morning TV, and now it's the lunchbox, and I think you saw grasshopper ones and things.
Yeah.
But equally, was it Tomy? The kids
Tomy,
where they had those ones with tracks and the ones where you drive, and if it fell over, it would still keep going because it was
right itself.
Yeah, exactly. But, and I suppose with the kids' adverts at the time, they used to throw all these buy, consume and stuff. And then after that, you saw a He-Man advert, and you're like, oh, I want Snake Mountain. But where all those things go, it's just...
They're all on eBay now for stupid money.
Yeah.
That's where they are.
Yeah, somebody picked them up at a jumble sale. That's what they used to be called back in the day.
Because I did have all the He-Man figures.
So I had quite a few of them.
But they all went on eBay when I saw the market go up.
I think I don't know, is the short answer. So, there we go. I hope that answers your question. Right, so, next question. Flying through these now.
Yeah.
From Mad BRC.
Cool.
Do you prefer on your scones jam and cream, which is the way he prefers them, or cream and jam? So, when he asked this question, I instantly went back to him and said, it's the Devon and Cornwall debate.
Yeah.
Before we even get there, though, they're scones, not scones. They're scones. The reason why they're scones is because the joke doesn't work otherwise. What's the fastest cake in the world? Scone. Not scone. What's the fastest cake in the world? Scone. So it's a scone.
That'd be the slowest.
Personally, I prefer scone, jam, cream, because it's logical.
I wrote that in my notes.
There we go. Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Here we go.
Jam, then cream. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing is, it's like the way I look at it is, you spread your jam and you dollop your cream.
You go. Yeah.
Whereas if you were to dollop your cream, how are you going to spread your
jam?
You can't.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah, jam doesn't.
You'll just scrape the cream off.
Exactly, and then you get a spoon which has got jam and cream on it.
Yeah.
And that's because I quite like peanut butter and strawberry jam on things, and you have to make sure that you don't cross-contaminate the strawberry jam with the peanut butter, or it goes mouldy.
Yeah, jam and cream.
Jam and cream. So there we go.
Simple.
It's answered. It's official. And Mad BRC also asked, what is your favourite Tamiya 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive? His favourite is the Sand Scorcher and the Hot Shot.
Cool.
If you were wondering.
I love the Hot Shot.
I don't mind Hot Shot.
I do love the Hot Shot. That is definitely on my bucket list. Obviously, we've had the vintage Hot Shot. Hot Shot 2. Sorry.
Hot Shot Part 2.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like that one. Sand Scorcher. Yeah.
I like the Sand Scorcher. It's a little bit, I don't know, I suppose because it's got brat wheels on it, it hasn't really got the traction that it needs. I suppose 2-wheel drive, let's mention the lunchbox. As I say, I don't think a 4-wheel drive lunchbox would have the same appeal. So I'd probably give that the 2-wheel drive crown if it was me. And 4-wheel drives, again, I think I have to go back to the MF-01X.
Yeah. Really good.
Just because it's so versatile and it's done everything that I've asked it to do.
Yeah.
So
that's good. Now, I did say before, Blitzer was my favourite.
Can't go back now.
Two-wheel drive, yeah?
Yeah.
It is. Obviously, Lunchbox is there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the Blitzer for me, because of the handling and drive. But four-wheel drive, I've got to go TTO 1E.
Okay.
The Subaru Impreza.
When there isn't any stones in it.
Yeah. Because that vehicle has a lot of punishment. And when we do the rally stages with TTO 1E, it's perfect. It's only my driving that lets it down at the end of the day. But that chassis is superb. I'd say, for me, TTO 1E, I prefer to the TT02. But I do want to get myself a nice TT01E, but a road car, because we've got the Subaru as the one that we batter and do the rally stages with.
Yeah, and I think this year we want to do a few more rally videos as well, because they are quite popular in all honesty.
Definitely. I think we need to batter that TT01E until it either cries or breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there we go.
Yeah.
Hopefully Mad BRC.
There you go.
There you go. So, next set of questions from our friend Adam over at Adam's Playground.
Hello.
Hello. He's asked quite a few questions, so we'll get through them as much as we can do. Number one, which one of you has the most RCs?
That'll be me, chief engineer. I love stuff.
Surrounded by most of it now.
Yeah, I love to build. Part of the hobby for me is building the chassis. I've always been into engineering, technical stuff, and I just love putting things together, making things. So once you buy one, you want more. That's the problem with this hobby, because the different types of chassis, you want to build the different type of chassis. So at the moment, I've got 15 in here hanging around. We did have a few more, but we've had a bit of a clear out. Because
a clear out to replace them with more.
Yeah, a clear out, and we're now going to purchase more because we need them.
Yeah. Personally, I've got 6 running at the moment. For me, I like editing the videos and stuff like that as well, but it's purely a space issue for me. It's something that needs to be addressed, but there are more on the horizon.
Yeah, I think with us though, the way that we're doing things, we don't want to end up with hundreds of cars.
Yeah.
We will keep ones that we love, obviously, but over time we will recycle and...
But we don't need 6 grasshoppers.
No. We will sell some and then buy more.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the kind of guy who will buy an RC, build it, and keep it mint. It's not going on a shelf.
No.
It's not going in a glass case.
No.
I know people like to do it that way, but they're to be used in my eyes. So buy it, build it, drive it, enjoy it.
For me as well, it's like I understand model making, because I used to like making models as a child, of like the Airfix stuff and whatever. You can buy static models to put on your shelf. Why would you put a RC car on a shelf
with a working motor?
With a working motor,
and a battery.
And a battery, yeah. It's just like, it's like, remember when you were a kid and your nan used to keep the plastic on the sofa? Why? Was it just my nan?
Probably just yours, but I know in the movies, in America, I know that you're from America, maybe you can answer this question. In a lot of the old movies, a lot of sofas are still, they do cover them, don't they?
Yes, that's right,
in the plastic. Yeah. But what I did see the other week on Instagram, my life allowed to mention that?
What, Instagram?
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know I was allowed to not mention.
Other social media platforms are.
There you go. That's it. What to see on there?
I don't know.
Oh, it was people who were shrink wrapping their RC cars to keep them clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Personally, I don't get it, but yeah. Anyway,
whatever rubs your rhubarb, Adam's next question is: which RC is your favourite outside of the lunchbox? Now, again, I think we have answered this different ways. So,
what if we answered it though of RC that we haven't got?
That's a good one. Yes. So, which RC would I like? I've always wanted a tank.
Yeah.
Right. But the price that Tamiya charges for their tanks, I could get a real one. So I think, I don't know really, it's like I want a Land Rover. I really do want a Land Rover next, I think.
Yeah.
But I also, I don't know, because Nuremberg has been on today, I like this new BBX chassis.
That looks nice.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
I like the Golf Mark II. And I'm quite intrigued by this MB chassis with the R-bar.
Yeah, the MBO one. I'm intrigued by that. Because I'm a big fan of the MO5 chassis. And if it's anything like that or better, superb. Yeah.
I kind of wish they'd made it old school Fiat Cinquecento rather than the newer kind of bubble. Yeah. It's like the newer Beetles, how they made, that new bubbly Beetle, and it came with like a vase on the dashboard for fake flowers.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Yeah.
So hopefully that doesn't answer your question. Another question.
MO5 for me outside lunchbox.
MO5 for him, and possibly new stuff from Nuremberg. What is a hobby you have outside of RC?
No, we've both got small children still. Oh, they're not so small anymore.
Well, yeah.
But they keep us
busy.
Very busy. But,
I know everything about Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, and
Minecraft.
Gabby's Dollhouse. Peppa Pig.
Oh, I've never done one there, thank God.
Yeah. For me, DIY, tinkering, doing stuff, tools, love tools, and motorbikes. I'm not a massive motorbike fan or fanatic, but I do ride a motorbike when the weather's good enough, because I'm a fair weather rider.
In June.
In June. I'll get around in a few months. But yeah, anything to do with my hands, basically.
For me, I suppose editing is not RC related, and I quite enjoy that. It's difficult because I work, we both work full time as well as having families and children and life and things going on. So I cook, but maybe that's through necessity more than anything else. I end up having to play a lot of Lego, so I'm quite good at Lego.
Have you seen? I've noticed recently a lot of people are doing a meld of Lego and RC.
I have actually
where people have been trying to make RC cars with Lego, or vice versa. Or aspects of both.
But it already kind of exists because of the Technic Lego.
Yeah.
So you can make a lot of things with Technic, but obviously the first time you stuff it into a curb, it'll just be bricks again. But yeah, I suppose having the luxury to have hobbies, just one hobby is good.
Everyone needs a hobby.
Yeah, you need something.
Someone needs something. Because if I was to go to work, come home, and not have a hobby, or something to do, I'd go mad. I would.
And you see it as well because I think a lot of people get home and I understand people are busy, but get home, put the soaps on, Emmerdale, EastEnders. It's grim. It's grim stories of grim life, and you've had that all day.
It is.
It's like there's dramas going on around you. Why do you want to watch anything more? I don't know. Oh, I like watching Agatha Christie stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm working my way through Columbo at the moment.
There we go.
And I'm on season 7.
I'm
nearly there. There's only 4 episodes in season 7.
There you go.
And I've nearly finished episode 1. I've got 3.5 episodes left of the whole back catalogue of Columbo.
That's good going.
It's been a hard slog.
Yeah.
Hour and a half per episode.
I'm currently rewatching The Office with a 7-year-old, so So there we go. So hopefully that'll answer questions about hobbies.
Oh, was that the question?
Yeah.
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 I got lost.
Okay, then. Technical issues, but we're back.
Right.
Another question from Adam.
Okay.
Why do plastic bushings still exist in the modern world besides it'll take 2,467 years for them to decompose? Now, what I was going to say here is that the 2,467 years isn't really an over-the-top estimation, because I used to work with this guy. He was quite boring, and he used to work in the plastics industry. And somebody once asked him, with a water bottle, like that,
Exhibit A,
how long could you still keep using it for? Now, apparently, you can probably keep on using it. What starts it decomposing now is the germs from your mouth.
Oh.
So the germs from your mouth, when you're drinking it, if you were to decanter it, you could probably use it for forever, 2,467 years or whatever.
Wow.
There we go.
They say when we start drinking out of it.
Like the acids and the alkalis and the gremlins and stuff in your system is what starts the decomposing of the bottles. But what that's got to do with plastic bushings?
No.
Because Tamiya are cheap, ultimately, perhaps.
We don't need them.
Perhaps they just do it for people that want to put them on the shelves.
I think that years ago when they were dishing the contracts out for all the spare parts, someone, disgruntled employee who did the ordering, he pressed 2 billion instead of 200.
Yeah, that can happen.
And that's why we're now in this position, because we're still using the same stock from 1967.
Yeah.
So, because you did it with pot noodles or something, didn't you? Didn't you order too many things?
Weren't pot noodles, they were noodle pots. But yeah, so Tesco's arrived with a whole tray full of them.
There are other supermarkets available.
There are other supermarkets and all the noodle in a cup instant variety available. But yeah, so you can make. So there we go. So I suppose.
Yeah, we don't need plastic bearings. I don't even know why we call them bearings. They're not bearings.
No, it's just
they're plastic inserts,
like a polo mint, but not as minty.
Yeah.
So there we go.
They are very chewy.
Another question from Adam: do you have a kit that you let go and regret? Personally, no.
I'd say not a kit, no. But the Blackfoot that we had, I liked the shell, so I might have kept the shell. But overall, no. Not bothered.
No. How many RC or how many RCs is too many?
If I had the room, I'd say buy them all. If I had a warehouse, I'd fill it. Yeah.
Again, I don't know. I don't know if you need 6 grasshoppers.
No.
But I suppose as long as you find some sort of enjoyment out of them, then fill your boots.
Yeah.
And last question from Adam. What RC do you regret buying?
Monster Beetle. Don't get me wrong. It is a lovely looking RC. The shell is perfect. I love the wheels. I just wish that the chassis was designed better, stronger, and also with a lower centre of gravity and a bit wider. It's just one of them kits that needs...
It's nearly there.
It needs aluminium upgrades. It needs, it needs the kit, the chassis needs looking at, because for the money, I don't think it's worth it for the money.
No. And again, for me, I don't think I really would say I regret buying any of them. I would probably say that my TT02 is a bit of a dog's dinner at times, but currently it's running really well.
Yeah.
So it's fine. My Sand Scorcher, again, I think I do need to do the steering mod on it, but I don't regret buying them.
No, I don't. No, we can't regret buying them because they are great fun, all of them, whatever they are. But my bugbear is design and engineering of the kits, because some of them are brilliant. Some of them need improvement. They do.
Yeah, like that RX buggy. I think I regret you buying that.
Yeah.
Nice
we didn't have
idea,
that one, to be honest, did we? But
no.
the RX buggy it just didn't drive well.
Yeah.
It didn't look right.
Bit of a Friday afternoon job, if you ask me.
Yeah. It broke very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like the shell mounts on the Monster Beetle. They broke on the first outing. Stuff like that. It's just little things. But yeah.
So that brings us to the end of Adam's questions. Hope you're full of answers now.
There you go.
Okay, so the next question is from Empty Pockets RC, which is how I feel most of the time. Out of the two of you, who can drive a lunchbox the furthest without crashing? I would say the chief engineer, considering how long it took me just to reverse in his driveway.
Yeah. But it also depends on radio gear.
Yes.
Battery life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say other aerials or masts or any kind of interference above you, because we've been to different locations and the radio gear has been interfered with. It has. Yeah. It's not been our driving.
Fifth colonist.
Yeah. I think in certain areas under certain masts or radio masts or cell towers, that type of thing, they do interfere with real. Yeah. We were somewhere recently where when I was going mad.
Not sure.
It was somewhere. So anyway, yeah. But yeah, I'm the better driver.
I to be honest with you, I'd have to agree.
No, it depends.
It's weird because it's like if you want a car to go in a straight line very fast, well, if you want a car to go very, very fast, then I'm the best driver. But if you want there to be any handling involved, then the chief engineer is probably better.
Thank you.
No problem. Anyway, thank you very much for that, Empty Pockets RC.
There you go.
We've now got a few questions here from our friends over in Germany.
Cool.
RC Birds.
Hello.
Tweet, tweet, tweet. So, his first question is, how many people are you? Well, I'm one person.
And I'm one person.
In a sense, you could say that there's over 1,000 of us because we're all one community. But yeah, to be predominant, it's me, it's him,
Yeah.
It's our wives for putting up with all this.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids
For missing us on Saturday morning.
You know, where's Daddy going? Away. I suppose, you know, we've also got the wheel tapper, our friend with the purple lunchbox. But he doesn't come out as much anymore because he's on probation.
Oh, he was?
He was.
He might be all right now.
He might be all right now, but we can't really comment on that. We will get an update on whether or not he's allowed out to play against him.
Yeah, we don't know at this point in time.
Yeah, it's all hush-hush.
Yeah.
Can't say too much.
No. Poor guy.
What must I do to get a headquarter building like yours?
Ooh.
So, in the videos, in something you might have noticed, when I refer to RC so-and-so HQ, I use an image of the GM building just because it's glitzy and everything. It'd be Detroit, won't it? Isn't GM based in Detroit?
Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the big silvery building.
The film was.
RoboCop.
No. The car with Michael Keaton.
Oh. Gung Ho. Great film.
Yeah. One of my favourites.
One of my favourites as well. That. So, work hard.
Play hard.
And,
Yeah.
There we go.
And then you can get a building just like that.
Then you get a building like that. Also, probably don't tell your stockholders the truth. You know, who knows? Next question. Has anyone his own cars, or do you have some sort of carpool for everyone? Well, we have our own cars, really.
Yeah, we do.
We have been fortunate enough to have a couple donated.
Thank you very much.
By the RC Elf. You know, he knows who he is. And with the cars that we got off him, we split them equally.
Yeah.
So you built yours, I built I've still got one to build. I will get round to it.
There were the vintage ones that we got.
So then we bought some vintage ones as well.
Yeah.
In our Project Dusty videos.
Yeah.
So we put money together and we rescued those from a couple of lofts.
We did.
But if you know, I fancy a car, I get it. If you fancy a car, you get it.
Yeah, there's variety as well for the channel.
Yeah.
So we get different vehicles that we both like.
Yeah.
So
it's the best way to do it as well, because it's two people's opinion. And I suppose two people's opinion is better than one person's opinion if you're doing it for content purposes.
Yeah.
You know, or otherwise, it might get a little bit stale and you just get loads of lunchbox videos.
Well, exactly. It could be just a lunchbox every week.
Yeah, which might end up being that way.
It might be. It wouldn't be a bad thing. We do love a lunchbox.
We do love a lunchbox. His next question is, are you planning any merch? And he's also got another question that's kind of attached to that, which I'll answer as well at the same time. Do you have any stickers for exchange? Yes. So, yes is the answer to that one. I've already sent Mr. RC Birds a sticker.
Cool.
A couple of other people have also requested stickers, so I've sent them over as well. Problem is with the UK at the moment is international shipping's a bit hit and miss. So they have all been posted now.
Uh-huh.
If you do want a sticker, then feel free. You can send it through to rcsoandso@hotmail.com or
Instagram
DM us.
YouTube.
YouTube, you can say you want one, but then you'd still have to probably DM me some other way to get the sticker.
Oh, yeah.
Because unless you want to put your home address on YouTube,
do that.
You might get some visitors. You know, come and play. So yes, it's the short answer. With other merch, I don't know if you guys want it, we'll do it. I suppose.
I've got a t-shirt.
He's got a t-shirt. Yeah. I've got a backpack
that I wear.
My backpack's in the other room, so I won't get it now. But I've got that. Gonna get some more stickers on your van.
Yeah. If people want merch, obviously, we'd.
If you want a mug with it on, then we will sort something out. Basically,
yeah.
It's as much as you tell us what you want, and then
we can put RC so and so on anything.
Yeah.
Within reason.
Well, I've seen
Yeah,
your tattoos.
But when you get to the post office and they ask you what's in the box,
don't you mess with them though? That's what I do.
Has it got a battery in it? No.
It's like I mess with the post office because the one where I live, they're all so moody. So they're making my life hard, so I make their life a little bit difficult.
Ours closed down.
Mrs. Goggins not going up no job no more.
No.
So yeah, there we go, RC Birds. Hopefully that answers everything that you wanted answering.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the next one is our friend over at JFRC. And his first question was, what was the most wackiest location you visited to film a running session?
Oh.
Real.
Yeah.
I suppose some of the derelict places.
Yeah.
Because I suppose if cards are on the table, we have actually got some footage for videos that are coming up, which have been filmed in locations, but it's more of an editing job and they're not completed yet. I don't know, is there anywhere wacky that you feel that we've been?
Yes.
Go on.
My wedding venue.
Yeah, his wedding venue.
Yeah. It is in one of our videos that we did. I can't remember what the title of the video is.
Yeah. Well, I can link it here.
Yeah. Basically, when me and my wife got married, we picked this beautiful big Tudor. Was it Tudor? Tudor.
Mock Tudor.
Mock Tudor.
Yeah.
Black and white. Building that had been built in 1800s.
Mm-hmm. Well, some of it had.
Beautiful building. It was perfect for the wedding venue. In Cheshire. And one day I heard, it's shut down. And then I heard it had been storm damaged. And I heard it had gone derelict. And all this happened within 2 years, maybe, or 3 years. So we took a drive up there, and the difference, unbelievable. It was like something out of Dawn of the Dead. It was totally derelict, ripped to pieces. It was such a shame. But we actually took the camera mounted on the GFO1 inside to have a look, and you can see it in the video. And the place is trashed. So that was like the wackiest but saddest location, really, that we've been to. But it's definitely haunted, definitely, as well.
For me, I don't think it's wackiest, but I think going to Morecambe.
Yeah, that was
for a couple of days. That was quite an adventure.
Bizarre.
And it was strange. I think that we might end up doing more of that as well. Yeah. And I enjoyed particularly making the behind the scenes video for that one. So I think, as I was saying earlier, maybe more behind the scenes videos might be coming up soon.
Yeah. Morecambe was a really nice place. Needs improvement in areas like most of our seaside towns.
Yeah.
Needs injection of money, but
I think the problem is councils are really relying on coastal erosion, and it's not happening quick enough.
No, it's not all falling into the sea.
No.
But yeah, Morecambe, great place. It was really nice. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. And his next question as a follow-up with that is, what was the poshest location that you visited? I suppose the problem with posh locations, the second that we rock up, we're made not to feel welcome. I think we did the cricket ground that time.
Yeah, in Tatnall.
Yeah, so we did the cricket ground there. You can see a few curtain twitches. We've scouted quite a few locations, but again, you can tell where you're not wanted, and I suppose that puts the kibosh on.
Yeah. We've got to be careful, obviously, where we go, where we film, locations, and we're always very Respectful of where we go and what we do, because we don't want to upset people. We don't want to trespass.
Mm.
We don't want to get in trouble with the law.
Don't want the cars nicked.
Yeah, don't want the cars nicked, don't want the camera gear nicked. So we do have to be careful.
Yeah.
And we'd say that to everyone who watches our channel. If you want to do this kind of thing, you've got to be careful. You've got to be. Always go in a pair as well or more, because, you know,
if there's trouble, blow your thistle whistle.
Some of the locations we've been to, if we'd have been on our own and something had happened, like falling off a cliff or...
Well, saying that, do you remember that time we went to the boat museum and we actually drove up on an Eastern European drug and prostitute deal?
We did.
Yeah. And it's like, quick, keep going. And you got like some guy just staring at you.
Yeah, we have seen that. And also, when we visited a farm, we saw a naked guy in a car.
Oh,
he was getting dressed quickly. This fella was quickly getting dressed when we pulled up. So we do see some weird and bizarre things.
Yeah.
But posh.
Speaking of which, and I know this isn't RC related, do you remember that time we were coming back from Leeds Festival? Because when we used to come back from the festivals, one of the things we used to do was go to KFC. And because after day 2 of being covered in mud and dirt and, you know, alcohol drenched and everything, you know, all you wanted was like a KFC burger. And we stopped on the motorway services. And as we got out, there was that couple next to us. And they were, you know, making life.
Making love.
making love. Yeah. And they looked at us, thumbs up and carried on.
And it was midday.
It was midday.
With families walking around.
Bank holiday Monday in the motorway services. So,
yeah,
you see all sorts of colours of life. Just... be careful.
Yeah. Location.
Yes. There we go. So hopefully that answers your question. Next question is from...
I miss me armrest. There you go.
Next question is from Spore777. I will be building a lunchbox this winter. Good luck.
Cool.
What are your recommendations for electronics and must-have upgrades? Chassis brace.
Yes.
Chassis brace.
Definitely.
You're good to go. As long as you've got a chassis brace.
Yeah. Oh, metal bearings.
So we're still talking about bearings.
Upgrade your bearings.
Yeah, upgrade bearings, chassis brace. Everything else can come later. It's like, yes, on mine I've got oil-filled shocks. Yes, a lot of it's now made out of aluminium.
Yeah.
It still doesn't take away from the charm. It's for electronics in it, you know, as long as you've got yourself your preferred radio gear.
Yeah.
I like the Tamiya ESCs because the instructions are easy to follow and you know that you're not going to go wrong. Motor-wise, I think you don't need anything more than a torque tuned in them.
No, you don't. You don't.
But apart from that, you know, just build it to the best of your ability and have fun.
Oh, the shell mounts, aluminium shell mounts.
Shell mounts, definitely.
They're only a few quid. Yeah. And what was the other thing? Oh, the aluminium hubs, wheel hubs.
Oh yeah, I've put them on mine now as well, haven't I? Yeah.
So, I really like those, and I think they work well. But what's the other thing to consider?
Other pins can drop out like on mine.
Where?
You know, on the wheel thingy bobs.
This
is why he's the chief engineer.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. The roundy bit, pin in it, drop out a bit.
The little pin that goes through the drive shaft, and when you put the hex nut on before you put the wheel on.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah. But radio gear with me and Google RC.
Yeah.
It's cheap and cheerful, but it does a job. It's superb. I love it. And there's no messing around. ESC, again, Tamiya ESC. All you gotta do is stick your screwdriver into the set, pull the trigger off, reverse, press it again, done. They're set. You know.
I use Sanwa radio gear, and it causes me more trouble than it's worth most of the time. But
it's good radio gear.
it's good radio gear.
Radio gear.
It's one radio to rule them all.
It is.
But
yeah, that's why I've got 5 controllers.
Yeah. So hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah. Motor-wise, I'd say you're right. Torque tuned is all you need because you got your BZ, you got your RZ, TZ, you got your brushless. But with a lunchbox, you want to have fun with it. You don't want it too quick, or you're not going to be able to handle it. It'll just be off.
Yeah.
And wheeling and falling over. So you can see in our videos, they've both got torque tuned and the fun we have with them. You know, I don't think I'd want my lunchbox faster.
I possibly would, but I don't. I think that the knock-on effect to everything else would deteriorate from that then, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because it would take more wear and tear, and then, so the other side of upgrading something like a motor to something more powerful. But I suppose it's something to test in the future.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so hopefully that answers your question.
There you go.
Right, so next question is our chum, Pete Wiley. Hello. I'd like to know if you have previous experience of comedy writing and how you came up with the concept of spinning a yarn at the start, which is a very tenuous link to the RC being featured. I suppose I've written a few funny checks. I wrote his speech.
Best
man speech, which was popular. No one wanted to copy afterwards, though. I don't know why.
I can't remember it.
No. It was funny.
It's on film, anyway.
Is it?
Is it?
I don't know. Was it before film existed? Was there a guy there with a camera? I don't think it was filmed.
I'm sure it was filmed.
It may or may not have been filmed.
I might have it on a
SD card or something.
DVD.
VHS. VHS. There you go. See, we got merch. You can have wedding speech merch. No, I think the concept for me, because I do the editing, is that we were doing videos of the cars running around, and I think I wanted to put a little bit more explanation behind what we were doing. And then, as I say, I think Rill was the first one where, because I feel so strongly
There's so
about
much
Rill.
To say, isn't there? About Rill.
I suppose sometimes the problem you've got is if you've got a video of, say, 3 minutes, 50 seconds of here's a car running around, cheers, subscribe, now bug off. It's good, but I just felt like there was more of the story to get by. And then I think the problem was I started thinking, well, is this intro anything to actually do with what the driving is? And I started having a big, like, existential. I started panicking. Is this any good? But then people seemed to be
it's different,
quite warm to it.
It's different.
It's different. It's like some people have said, get rid of them.
Yeah.
Some people have said, get rid of the car bit.
Yeah.
So,
what do we do?
So do we just stop? I don't know.
Well, if we stopped and got rid of the car bit, I'd just be sitting here with a load of cars.
I suppose everything's got a point and things are connected. And I suppose, growing up, because, we're the same age, although he's slightly older than me, is that when you watch TV in the 80s, and there was like an ongoing story, and he had some great programs, which, and some more bizarre ones as well, and they always had some sort of narrative behind it. Or a moral. If you're going from the likes of He-Man cartoons to Open All Hours to Rising Damp to Thundercats, Dad's Army. See, this is the other thing, because I used to spend a lot of time abroad, and we had audio cassettes back in the day now, and we had the Dad's Army audio cassettes, and for 6 weeks over summer I would listen to these, and I could quote word for word, and you just get to hear timing, I suppose, and the way people word stuff. And I think sometimes words can be quite clever, and then how are you going to link it to something? And I do have moments. I can't find my notebook here. Here it is. So I've got my notebook here, and I'll be sat there, and I've edited the video, and I'll be like, right, well, what am I going to say about it? And then I panic, and then I write something, and then I'm just like, yeah, well, that'll do, I suppose.
It's great though, because it reminds people of fun times, better TV.
Yeah.
When the world was a happier place. Because if you watch the news, any time at the moment, it's miserable. It's about war, death, famine, everything that's bad in the world.
Prince Harry.
Prince Harry, yeah.
Or not? No, he's not Prince Harry anymore. Harry. The royal family known as Prince Harry.
He should have done it in a Californian accent.
But yeah, it's like I suppose with films and TV as well at the moment, and it's all very much, I don't want to use the word woke, but
I don't even know what that means.
He doesn't even know what that means. But I suppose the problem is, if you haven't got the entertainment that you want to watch, what do? Make it?
No, it's like TV now. If I want to watch something, I go back to the 90s, I go back to the 80s, I go back to the 70s, because that's what I want to watch, and that makes me happy. It's much better. So the dialogue that's in front of the videos, hopefully it'll be giving people a bit of a laugh, a bit of a smile, inspiration to, be happier or better. Or
see, for me, it's like there's nothing more I like than sitting there and watching 3 or 4 episodes of Bullseye. Because the humour's there. It's a game show, right? Okay, tick. What's the narrative behind it? If you watch a game show in this day and age, they're rubbish. They're absolute rubbish. I can't stress that enough. And back in the day, they had presenters. The problem is nowadays they have presenters, and all they've done is they've been to college to learn how to present, and then they get a job to present, and that's it. Whereas back in the day, you had, remember the comedians?
They were personalities as well.
Because they were used to the working man's clubs. There was the whole thing where, the wheel tappers and shunters club, basically. So you had this whole thing where they had to entertain a mixed audience. And by doing that, they had to pull out their A grade all the time, make it topical, make it good, and make it funny.
They were geniuses, though, because it was all up here with them. Nowadays, you'll get a team of 20 people behind one person writing for them, and they haven't got a clue.
There's no personality to it.
There's no personality. They don't know how to interact with people. They don't know how to talk to people.
Yeah.
Well,
this is it. It's the whole thing about decisions made by committee. And I can see how that would work. But if you look at something like Monty Python, there were 6 of them, I think off the top of my head, and they very wisely broke into writing pairs. So, they split up, and then they'd write in their pairs, and then they'd come back and then they'd present it to, the other members of which characters they could play, and then that would work better. Whereas if you had a room with 6 people all trying to get their idea over, I suppose you're going to get degradation because it's going to be edited live. Like, oh no, you can't say that because you might offend these people, or you can't say that because I think this would be funnier. Whereas that was only the stepping stone to get there.
Yeah. It was easier for them to divide and conquer than to all be in one room at once.
Yeah.
Shouting at each other.
Yeah.
Actually discuss stuff, but you just can't say anything to anyone now without anyone getting offended.
Yeah.
It's a shame, because half time when you want to say something you're sincere, someone will take offence.
Yes. And I'm not saying that we're going to turn into some sort of radicalised
We just want to have fun.
Yeah, it's like this is mildly amusing.
Enjoy it.
If you find it mildly amusing, fantastic. If you don't, well, here's a bit of a car video to watch instead.
Exactly.
You know,
what came first, chicken or the egg? You know, it's the car or the intro.
I suppose years of living life was the intro.
Yeah, we've had many adventures, and we've had many stories.
There is many a yarn which have gone untold, which we can still tell.
We've gone for 20 years worth.
Well,
hopefully, if the batteries last that long.
That's it, yeah. So we'll keep doing it as long as people want them.
Yeah.
If you don't want them, then I don't know. So hopefully that answers that question somehow. Another one from our friend Pete Wiley. Let's have a quick look. Interested in your RC history and whether you had a big gap or got back into it in middle age, as a lot of us did. Big gap.
Massive gap.
Massive gap.
Yeah.
For me, it was having my son. One Christmas, I didn't know what to get for him, and I was looking at model tractors to see if there was, or if there's anything like that. And I just started reminiscing about toys when I was a kid, and I found myself watching the old adverts for the Tamiya lunchbox with Vanessa bouncing around a bit. I thought, oh yeah, I might get one of them. And then life gets in the way again. So I think that year, because we had a flood, so everything was put on hold and stuff. And then I think one Christmas I just decided, because I spoke to you.
You sent me a message about it. Yeah.
Because we spoke about it, because I remember we were out one day going around a stately home, as you do. And I was just saying that this, and then what very quickly started happening was I started watching videos about them, and then that kind of got me more interested in making the videos as well. So it happened.
Just snowballed, didn't it? Yeah. My history pretty similar. When I was a kid, loved RC, loved going into a model shop, dreaming about what car I could have. Because in Chester, whether any of you know that city, in the precinct in Chester where they had all the shops, there was a model shop. And you used to go downstairs and they'd have all the Tamiya and kits and models all downstairs. So I was a kid, I used to love going in there, looking at all the boxes, the shelves, and just dreaming about what car I could have, what motor. So all the motors would be on display.
Because I remember when I was younger, I used to collect Warhammer figures, Orcs and Goblins. And I think even then I didn't quite grasp the correct concept of it, because while everyone was trying to make their armies really unbeatable, I was building scenery. And I remember going into that shop asking if I could get any 00 gauge size skips, because I had this idea for scenery involving skips. And the guy just looked at me like I was a bloody idiot. Ironically though, when you look at 00 gauge stuff now, you can get anything. And I suppose if I didn't have RC and I had the space, it's I would say that I'd have a train set up, but I'd probably have it without the trains. Just the scenery. Yeah, for me, I love dioramas. I find them fascinating. And Mrs. RC so-and-so, she's into doll's house nonsense. And I want to have my input on that, but that's what she does. So I think that I like having, and it's like the top of my lunchbox, how I've got, a sherry barrel on it, and I've got, because I like the
just make it look different.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is why we don't do box art as well, really.
Yeah, because that's a whole different kettle of fish box art.
So another one from Pete Wiley. If you could only keep one RC, which one would it be? Obviously one of the lunchboxes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we had to liquidate everything, I would keep my lunchbox.
Definitely. Yeah, that'd be the one to keep.
Yeah. So hopefully that there we go. As detailed as that, no waffle there. Right, so next couple of questions.
Yeah.
OAG.
Okay.
Hello, OAG. What do you call a what do you call a group of lunchboxes? Chaos.
A herd.
Herd.
Because I can imagine a load of baby calves running around.
It's like, isn't it like a murder of crows?
Yeah.
You know,
a murder of lunchboxes.
Or is it more like lunchbox eye?
Lunchboxes.
Lunchboxes is a gaggle. No.
Heard a gaggle. A murder.
What about a meal of lunchboxes?
A meal of lunchboxes.
There we go. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully that answers something.
Maybe you could serve a meal on a lunchbox.
There you go. That's an idea.
Yeah. It'd be like the
cable tie Greg's to it.
Yeah. That would be like those paper plates with a breakfast made out of rock that you get at the seaside on top of the lunchbox.
Here's an idea for a video.
Yeah.
Why don't we put a trifle on top of the lunchbox and see what happens?
A trifle of lunchboxes.
A trifle of lunchboxes. There we go. Yeah.
It'd be messy.
Yeah, well,
no one nicked that idea, by the way. We're doing that.
Anyone out there with trifles on lunchboxes, I'm going to get my lawyers involved.
Yeah, we're doing that.
And another question from the OAG. What RCs did you both idolise as kids, and do you have them now? I tell you one that I used to idolise, which technically is an RC.
Yeah.
Do you remember those adverts for that bloody robot that would come out with a can of Coke for you? Again, I think it was made by Tommy.
Johnny Five?
No, it wasn't Johnny Five. It was like R2D2-esque. I'll get a picture somehow and pop it here.
Oh, the one that...
it had a little tray.
I remember.
Yeah,
it was Tommy or someone.
Yeah.
Silver.
That's it.
And it's been an Argos catalogue.
Yeah.
Catalogue of Dreams, Book of Dreams.
Big Book of Dreams.
Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah.
I always wanted one of them.
Yeah, I think that was the one. And no, I don't own one. But if anyone's got one out there, let me know.
The one that I wanted, I think, right, when I was a kid, when we used to go on holiday to places like Butlins, Pontins, we were at Butlins maybe, somewhere. It might have been Minehead, maybe.
Oh, glamorous.
Maybe. And I remember staring out the window and there was a lad and he had, I am pretty sure in the back of my mind, there was a codbuster. And that was what I wanted. That is what I wanted. And we've since owned one.
Yeah. And sold it.
And since broke it and sold it. So that was the one for me. I think it was the codbuster. Yeah.
And again, I think lunchboxes always had an appeal to me.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was that feeling of seeing the box in the shop window and it'd be like, wow.
See, this is the thing. I think one day I will buy a grasshopper or what's the other one that
the Hornet.
The Hornet, yeah. I suppose the Hornet and the Grasshopper are two classic Tamiya models.
Iconic.
There we go. That's the word.
Yeah.
Which we don't own either.
Well, here's a question for you though. If you were to get a Grasshopper and a Hornet, would they be box art?
That is a very good question. I would probably say no. I have a rough idea on what I probably would do with. I think a Grasshopper would be preferred because it's a hard body.
Yeah,
and I much prefer working on hard bodies.
They are,
polycarbonate
they're easier
bodies.
and better.
It's just you can be a little bit more creative, I find, without the use of decals or stickers. I saw that. Well, I saw one that looked like it was from Tron.
That's cool.
Which was a good looking one. Obviously Star Wars ones and stuff. But I don't know what I would do as design wise because I haven't got one at the moment. But I think that I wouldn't do a box art.
No, our friend Stem Roach, he bought his Hornet. Tried to do it box art, but you know when you spray polycarbonate shells, and you're meant to peel the plastic off.
Before the decals.
Yeah, he actually put the decals on the top of the.
And also he ran out of
Plastic.
paint, so the back half of it's a different colour than the front half.
But
Which looks quite good.
because you did the unboxing,
Yes.
I did the building,
Yes.
he did the spray job.
Yes.
But it's a great vehicle.
Yeah, it's nipping.
I loved building it
Mm.
and driving it. When I had to go, it was really, really cool. I didn't think it'd be that much cop. I thought it was overrated. But once it was built and once it was on the road, it drove really, really well.
It's nipping.
And that was with a silver can.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That was a silver can that came in the kit, and it was nippy.
But he drives it with sticks as well, doesn't he? So the trigger, and I don't know, I think sometimes when you're driving with something with sticks, that you've got that.
It might feel faster.
Yeah, maybe because of, it goes flying in a straight line because there's no other, unless you wiggle the other stick, it's not going to go unless it's built badly, I suppose. But
well, it was a professional build, obviously.
Professional build, yes. So, yeah, I suppose hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah.
Next question from Mrs. RC so-and-so.
Wow. Hello.
When are you going to move all these fucking cars? So...
Did she actually say that?
Yeah, she actually said this. So,
wow. Okay.
For your contention, when we go out filming, I come in and I've got a habit of leaving cars near the front door. And also there's been a mini gold lunchbox in my kitchen for about 3 weeks now.
Well, it's better that than an air fryer.
Well, yeah. There's one of them as well, but so again, I struggle with space, and I will move the cars. Sorry.
You know what you need?
What?
Glass cabinets.
Glass cabinets and a vest.
There you go. Glass cabinets.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's the word? Homogeneously sealed glass cabinets. So they go when you open and close them.
With alarms, and you have to be like entrapment to get there and stuff.
That's it. You'll be like, what's her name? Yeah?
Sean Connery.
No. Who's had her eyes done, but she looks nothing like she did.
Fisher.
Darling Buds and May.
It's Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah. Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah. Have you seen that video of her where she's talking about balsamic and olive oil?
No.
Mrs. RC so-and-so loves that video because she's like, shows her salad dressing and she goes, balsamic vinegar, olive oil.
Nigella used to show her.
I went to an audience with Nigella Lawson once, right?
Wow.
It was the most pretentious thing I've ever been to in my life.
Did you wear a cravat?
I didn't. I did wear tweed though. And the problem is, it's like you've got somebody on stage talking about their history, but the crowd are desperate for attention. They're so needy for attention. And, they did a question and answers bit. And it's like this one woman was like, oh, this morning I made a slow poached duck egg. And it's like, what on earth is a slow poached duck egg?
Why would you have that for breakfast?
And why are you telling Nigella Lawson and 500 other people?
She doesn't care. No,
I didn't care either. So.
Did you ask her about anything? Did you ask her a question?
No, I don't ask questions.
No. We just answer them.
We just answer questions. That's all we're here for.
That was a bit of a tenuous link, then.
There we go. 5 points. Right, so next one is from our friend Cam Rowe Drone.
Hello, in Japan.
Yes. I believe his cat's a big fan as well.
Superb. I love cats. I've got cats.
They're a bit... not a big fan of cats myself, but anyway.
Big fan.
He's a big fan. Will you ever go brushless on the lunchbox? No. It's not something for me. I think we do have another brushless question later on as well. But no, it's like for me, I don't really want to go down that route. I think I've seen too many videos, hello Pete Wiley, of people's houses being set on fire from brushless setups.
Oof.
So for me, when I told Mrs. R.C. so-and-so, oh, I've just seen this video of someone's house or hobby room being burnt down because of a particular battery type.
Yeah.
It was a no in my house.
I get the whole brushless. I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you buy a new drill.
Yeah.
They're brushless. The only reason things are brushless is for life. Now, obviously, there's no brushes to change.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, the motor should last longer and shouldn't heat up as quick. But how long is that motor going to last? Because you might have the car for 20 years, but the motor might last for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
So a brush motor, that'll last you 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the whole, I don't see the advantage, to be honest. I know the speed is the advantage, but also your runtime is depleted by the speed, but then you've got your 3S, your 4S, and so on to give you more power and hopefully last longer. But
I suppose with Tamiya as well, when you start looking at 8S in a Tamiya, it's, when the Enterprise...
What's going to break first?
Well, yeah, exactly, because, back in the yesteryear of the original series of Star Trek, and you got, like, Scotty going, she can't handle it, and everything is shaking. That's what you're going to get with brushless in a Tamiya. And
especially if you have plastic bearings in it as well. With brushless
plastic bearings and no strips and stuff, yeah. So hopefully that answers that question for you. Yeah. So the next question is from Mal Page. Which is your favourite beach in Llandudno, North Shore or West Shore, and why?
North Shore for me. It's bigger.
Yeah.
You got the prom.
Yeah.
You got the shops.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Orme.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you haven't got the Orme on the west.
Yeah.
But you've got everything there on North Shore. You've got the pier. And you can eat the ease of getting into town.
There's a nice restaurant in Llandudno called Osborne House, I think, and that's quite nice there. There's also a really ropey Italian restaurant there as well. I can't remember what they're called, but I wouldn't bother with that. The problem with Llandudno is that they've got a home guard museum that I really want to go to, but every time I go, it's closed because they've got some sort of bizarre thing. But as a Victorian seaside town, I think Llandudno has done all right. There was rumour of them getting an IKEA.
Wow.
But
that'd save a trip to Warrington, wouldn't it?
Funnily enough, I heard this thing the other day about IKEA, that the reason why they're out of town is not because of the lower rates that they have to pay or that they've got bigger spaces, but it's more of a destination. So when you go there, you feel you've got to buy more stuff.
Yeah.
So it is.
While I'm here.
Yeah, I do need that proving goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. North Shore.
North Shore. All the shores. I'm not sure. Next question here from Fantastic Plastic Adventures.
Oh.
I'm not really sure if I'm the best person to answer this one, but I'll give it a go.
Okay.
What is Blockhead Motors and what is the origin story?
Wow. So,
the only thing I know about Blockhead Motors from doing the unboxing is that some guy called Jun Wannabe in Japan is a graphic designer or some sort of designer, and he also likes RCs, and he's designed some or done paint schemes or non-box art, and Tamiya like it and release them. I'm waiting for Tamiya to ring me any day to go, hey, your tactical lunchbox is the bee's knees. Can we do an RC so-and-so edition? And I'll be like, well, what's it pay?
I'd rather them do the Jessica Fletcher Murder, She Wrote lunchbox. But
well,
isn't Blockhead's got the turtle, isn't it?
Yes.
Now,
I suppose it's something like AMG or Alpine or... Cosworth, or you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
I suppose mechanically there isn't really anything more to it. So technically, it's the aesthetic,
livery.
Yeah.
Blockhead. Obviously, on Instagram, when you see all the Japanese cars, the race meets, I'd love to go to Japan. I'd love to immerse myself in the
preferably
RC world.
If anyone's listening that wants to, fund it, I'd like to go in the cherry blossom season.
Oh yeah, that'd be lovely.
I would like to go and have a look around the Tamiya factory.
Mount Fuji.
You can go to Mount Fuji. I'll stay at the temple at the bottom. I think I want to do a behind the scenes video. I'm sure I can find content.
That'd be cool.
So if any of you want to just treat a couple of people to go to Japan,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah. And I'll go and find out exactly what the deal is with John Wannabe.
Yeah. Has Camo Drone got a spare room that we could stay?
Oh, there we go.
The cats.
Yeah, I'll like cats if that's the case,
Yeah, Japan and but Blockhead, I know this is controversial.
Go on.
I'm not that keen on the livery for the wild one.
The blue and white.
Yeah. I do like it, don't get me wrong, but I'm not that keen.
The problem with it is this, that when I got it, the shell's pre-painted. So there's not really a lot of opportunity or scope to go off-piste. Now, I have thought about buying a second shell, even if it's just 2 bits of plastic, and doing my own paint scheme on it. But then the question is, what makes it different than the wild one, apart from it's got like silvery plastic wheels and stuff? So I suppose one day, because my idea was to get one and make it look more like a fast attack vehicle. But then, again, this is the problem with having RC as a hobby. It can be a money pit.
Yes, they can.
So I'm going to build it box art and see where I go. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it is a lovely vehicle and it does look good, but personally, I'm not that bothered about the Blockhead edition. Yeah.
Other graphic designers are available. Okay. The next one. This is a question which I quite liked, and I have actually thought about it.
Okay.
Came in via Instagram. Other social networks are available. Hello, Instagram. So it's from NHRC71. If you could have any band / artist write a soundtrack for a Lunchbox video, who would it be?
Oh, there we go.
Now, I've got 2 versions of this answer, so if you've got any answers, feel free to go for it.
Okay.
I might have to waffle a little.
If it was me, my go-to would be Max Cavalera. Originally Sepultura, Nail Bomb, Cavalera Conspiracy, Soulfly. The man to me has always been an inspiration musically.
Do you want me to superimpose that picture of you with him here?
Oh yes, please. Yeah. I met him a few years back. I was in Washington Airport, I think it was. And he was asleep on a bench and his wife was behind him. She was on the iPad and I couldn't believe it. It's my hero. So yeah, woke him up, met him. He was a bit grumpy. But yeah, I'd get Max to definitely write the soundtrack. Definitely.
So for me, if it's a little bit more difficult for me because obviously I like music. There was the time that I was DJing, Them were the days. So I like a lot of music. I am more into the more rock-esque genres. But it would depend on where the location of the video was. So, for instance...
right, yeah.
If I was I really would like to do a really good desert rock, like, grudge, sludgy kind of thing to... Obviously, Caius, but they don't exist anymore, but maybe they'll get back together.
Why is that? Can I?
I can answer
The
that,
name.
but that'll be in the next video.
Yeah.
But there's so much because for me, for someone that lives in England/Wales and stuff
On the border,
bandit country, there's something compelling about the desert. And I've been to the Palm Desert, and it's nice, and I like it, and I like the dry atmosphere, and it's really good, and I like the sunshine, and there's just
it's hot though.
It's hot.
It was very hot.
It's hot, but I like hot and bleak, and it's bleak, but in the way I like it. So for me, I would like to do a really kind of, there's a band called Sleep, and I probably have them doing something. But that being said, if I had to have a house band, that was a case of, right, I'm going out now to do a lunchbox video. I need you to write me some music. The band I would pick would be the B-52s.
Wow.
Because I'm quite into the whole art rock thing, but also
I like their clothes at least.
Well, I feel that they could properly get on to the concepts of what I'm doing. It's like, I'm doing a lunchbox video. It's going to be set here. Write me a song. And I feel that they get the beehives out, the shiny suits, and they do me.
Are they still going?
Yeah, of course they're still going.
I actually bought when they did the Flintstones.
Oh, the BC-52s.
The BC-52s. Yeah. I bought it on CD.
There we go. See, it's one of these things. There's a lot of stuff. It's like, for me, it's like I like Talking Heads and stuff, and there's that whole artistic approach to it as well. But I suppose if you needed a house band, B-52s.
Wow. So I didn't see that coming.
There we go. So hopefully that answers the question.
Was the woman really tall in that band?
I don't think so, because one of the original members, he died, didn't he, from the AIDS.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so, but they're still going to a better degree.
Wow. I always remembered a woman, I'm sure she was dead tall. Must have been a hair.
No, she had a massive beehive, massive ginger beehive, which, if you're ginger, go with it with pride, really. So, yeah, hopefully that answers that to an extent.
There we go.
Right. We've got a couple of questions here now from Hugh Janis. Will you do a video on RC demolition derbies?
It's a bit like that every time we go out with the lunchboxes.
See, the follow-up question from him as well was, will you do video tutorials on making jumps and realistic crush cars for them? And I know what he means, because you can get those kind of like flat-looking cars, can't you? So it's more like a polycarbonate shell.
You drive over.
Why is not highlighting in yellow?
There was a video we recently did, well, a few months ago, where we played tag.
Tag, that was a good video, yes.
So I suppose if you were in the right location with a few lunchboxes, that would be like a demolition derby. Yeah,
and I suppose because we've got the jump, but we don't really use the jump as much as we would. Yeah. And there is a question.
Yeah, we have got a custom built ramp. And we don't get out enough, to be honest. We need to use it more this year. But when we do the next video, we can show the ramp, how it was built, how it was made. Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, you might not realise this, but we are winging this most of the time.
We just do it as a hobby that we love and enjoy to get out.
And if it works, brilliant. And if it doesn't work, brilliant.
Have fun. It's imagination.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, as I always say, when I was a kid, we had a Breville sandwich toaster.
Oh, yeah, we did. It was awesome.
Which was
the smell. I can smell the smell now.
Smell the burnt cheese, which is an essential home owner, late 80s, early 90s. Everyone in the UK had a Breville.
Picking the burnt cheese off it before you use it.
And I remember on the box of this Breville for a sandwich toaster, it said, Breville sandwich toaster, the only limitation is your imagination. Yeah. And that has stuck with me for years.
You know what stuck with me?
Go on.
The molten beans that used to go in the back of my bread.
Yeah. But you can make things like samosas in it and all sorts.
Everything, yeah.
It's like, admittedly, I don't have one anymore because I use a panini press, but there we go.
We don't live in Cheshire now, you know.
So hopefully that answers something. I
don't think we're going to actually do a demolition derby, derby. Specifically, but we will be having a lot
if
of
it breaks, you see it.
Yeah,
basically.
And in our years of experience, we do crash a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So you will,
Yeah, but we're not in it.
No.
So if they hit something, he hits something.
If it breaks, it breaks.
Yeah, we have the technology to rebuild it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is from Brad.
Hey, Brad. America again.
There we go. What RC car do you want the most in the Tamiya lineup and Kyosho lineup?
Ooh.
So I'm going to answer my Tamiya one first. Land Rover.
Okay.
Defend.
I'm getting my notes because I did actually notice there.
There we go. He did some notes on this one.
Yeah. For me, Tamiya, there's a 110 Tamiya Bruiser.
Oh, yeah.
2012. Hell of a vehicle. That is the one that I want to see on my shelf.
Mm.
Not to sit
in the glass cabinet.
Not to sit there and get dusty. I would abuse it. I would batter it.
Yeah.
Because the Tamiya Bruiser, I know there's the vintage edition and there's the 2012 re-release.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have the 2012 re-release. Because I know a vintage one, if I was to get one, the minute I was to hit a curb, it'd break. It would. It'd be degraded. It'd go. So the re-release Tamiya Bruiser for me, all day long.
And Kyosho?
Well, I wasn't that up on the Kyosho range, so I did a bit of research. They have got some lovely looking vehicles, different buggies that are appealing. But there's a random one that I really like, and it's called the Outlaw Rampage.
Mm.
And it's silver, and it's like a flatbed truck at the back. It's got like the spare wheels on the back, spare tires. And it just looks like a cool American truck.
Cool.
Yeah. Which Tamiya is kind of missing. They haven't got the kind of muscle car. They haven't got the flatbed truck. They haven't got the, people might say, no, they have. But what I've seen, I haven't seen a Tamiya vehicle like that I really like. So it'd be Kyosho Outlaw Rampage.
Cool.
Definitely.
And I don't want a Kyosho. Simple. There we go.
I would. I want the Rampage. Yeah, because I think it's really nice. And it'd be interesting to actually put it up against the Tamiya range.
The problem is, if you start doing that, then you start going down the lossy route, and
I wouldn't.
WL toys.
No, that'd be the only one I'd get.
I'm just going to get an armor, and so
that'd be the only one I'd get. That's the only one I'd get.
Okay.
Yeah, because I looked through the whole range of Schumer, if I'm saying it correctly.
I think is it Schumacher?
Schumacher. And the Kyosho range. And there was nothing in the Kyosho, nothing in the Schumacher range that I liked, apart from the Outlaw Rampage.
Yeah. So there you go, Brad. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is from long-term watcher of our channel. I wish his name was easier to say. RFVCXR200R.
Hello. It just rolls off the tongue.
So his question is, what's your opinion on chips? Now, I asked him a question on this. Did he mean potato, computer, chocolate, or the TV series? Yeah, there we go. To which he said potato, as in what Americans refer to as fries and we call chips. So I don't mind them. Chips are all right.
I love chips. Any shape or form.
See, the thing is, it's like I'm not...
Crinkle cut, I love. Fries, I love. But if you get chunky chips, they have to be cooked like 3 times.
Triple cooked beef dripping ones.
Yeah, they have to be.
It's like I'm old enough to remember when you used to go to the chip shop, and there was 2 different types of chip shops. You had the new fandangled ones that used sunflower oil to cook the fish and chips in, and then you had the better ones that had beef dripping, and they used to cook the chips in the beef dripping. This is back in the day when you could wrap stuff in newspaper.
For health and safety.
Before health and safety. Apparently, they didn't stop using newspaper because they were worried about the ink. The reason why they stopped using newspaper is that most people read the newspaper while they're on the toilet.
Oh.
So that's why they stopped using newspaper to wrap chips in. But yeah, to be perfectly honest, I think I prefer roast potatoes.
I love roast potatoes.
I like roast potatoes.
But they have to be crispy.
Of course, you know, then
they're nice
just
and soft
potato.
in the middle.
Yeah, it's like,
but in America, the little square potatoes that you get at breakfast.
Oh, yeah, I refer to those as Italian potatoes.
Oh, they were lovely, they were.
I must admit, I'll tell you one thing that completely blew my mind, and I know we're going off track again here, is McDonald's in America compared to McDonald's over here. Yeah. Because, you know, when you go over to America and ask for large fries, you get large fries. Over here, you just get fries.
I've got a bit of a thing with that. When we were in New York, we went to McDonald's for breakfast, and we got this breakfast kind of burger.
Okay.
So it was like the sausage that you get over here in the egg and sausage McMuffin.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And then you had a bun, but the bun was like it was soaked in syrup.
Oh, right. Okay, like a sweet thing.
Oh, it was terrible. I was really looking forward to it, but it was awful.
I'd probably say the best breakfast I had in America was in Denny's.
Denny's was awesome.
Because
we built our own.
Well, there's another digress, really. The morning after I got married, because I got married in Vegas, that's why you weren't invited.
I didn't even know.
The morning after, me and Mrs. R.C. So-and-so, we went to Denny's. And because we're like, oh, Vegas, what do you do? And everything's so bright and shiny. And we went to Denny's and we got in this queue. And because there's only 2 of us, they gave us a table straight away. And we sat down, and it's like the cups were well used, so they're a bit stained on the inside. I ordered this orange drink, and the guy said, well, you'll have to whisk it with your straw because it's settled quite a bit for some reason. Whatever. I think Mrs. R.C. So-and-so had the lumberjack special with grits and stuff.
Nice.
And I can't remember what I had, but I think I had sausages and stuff. But the reason why I'm saying the funny story was the waiter kept hitting on me.
Oh, no.
I was at home married for less than 12 hours. I've got some guy like chatting me up. I'm like, all right, pal. Still had to pay full price for it though. But in America, I remember that they had strange things like pasties with cheese and jam in them for breakfast. It was all very sweet.
Yeah.
Whereas
I didn't expect it that sweet at breakfast.
Yeah, because because for me, my breakfast for years has just been coffee. I just drink a coffee.
I like porridge.
See, I don't mind those little sachets or chassettes.
That's what I have.
Yeah, and
put them in the microwave 2 minutes.
Yeah. See, that's handy because back in the day when you used to have to get the pan out and the guy with the kilt and the pack and everything. And,
Scotch oats.
Scotch oats. It's like, and I was never allowed ready brek when I was a kid because it made me constipated.
Didn't make you glow.
Well, yeah, from constipation. So there we go. So why do we
Denny's was one of the best burgers I ever had there.
We
looked at it and we built our own burgers.
Yeah.
And Denny's, I wish that Denny's was here.
There is some Denny's, but it's like Timmy's, isn't it? It's like Tim Hortons.
I don't like Tim Hortons.
Well, this is it. Tim Hortons in Canada or Canada looks like it's some sort of institution. And everyone I know that's Canadian rave about Tim Hortons.
No.
So they opened a Tim Hortons near us by where you work and stuff. And opening day, I was there, and I quite like the French vanilla latte, and that's I quite like it. But they did deals because it just opened, so it's like $1.99 for like a breakfast wrap and a coffee and stuff. But since it's open, the prices have gone up and up and up and up. And the temperature of the food's gone down.
Yeah,
down,
I think
down.
the quality of the food's gone down as well.
Yeah.
I think that they've gone to cheaper suppliers because
the hash browns have definitely
the
changed.
hash browns like cardboard.
Yeah.
But anyway, there are other food outlets.
There are other food outlets. So I hope that answers some sort of question about chips.
Yeah, chips. I love chips.
Chips, they're all right. Not done me wrong. The next question is from our friend Yoda Darkside.
Hello.
Which or what Vanessa is the fittest? The original blonde on the yellow lunchbox or the redhead on the black edition? And then he does continue on there. I've got an alert on this. Bear with me for a moment. I will tell you what the rest of this is while I'm looking for it.
That's a tricky one.
Because I think... I can't bring it up now. I knew I should have written this all on paper. But yeah, so... Apparently him and his mates, I think, prefer the blonde, if I remember correctly.
Should we have a look at the blonde?
Okay, let's have a look.
Sorry.
Oops.
I'm just driving a lunchbox over the back yet. Right.
Okay, so...
That's the blonde.
That's the blonde.
I have got the decals for the black edition.
Well, yeah, let me quickly look at...
The blonde...
Was it still blonde and...
Does the blonde look a bit like the Joker?
No, but I can see what you're saying because of the mouth.
She's got, like, a big smile.
Black edition lunchbox. This brings up what's his name?
So I did have the black edition lunchbox, but I did the Jessica Fletcher decals on it. So you can't really see.
Can't really see. I'm trying to images.
Oh, images. So
it's just the same red hair, really.
Yeah.
Is it different on the blue one and the red one?
Don't know. Or the gold edition. Was there a gold? Yeah,
the gold edition. Yeah.
The blue, the red, and the gold.
I don't know. I don't think it really matters what colour the lady's hair. Yeah, he'll go red. Yeah. I suppose as long as she's got hair,
Or Jessica Fletcher, which is on my lunchbox. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. So anyway, I hope that answers something. But there we go. So next, a few questions from Mo Dinecast Fixation.
Hello?
Fixation, yeah. Why do you go most of the time with these expensive Tamiya brush motors in your builds?
Because they come in the kits. No.
I like BZ. I like the noise it makes. Okay, it might be more expensive to go down that route, but again, I'm not a brushless fan. So for brushed, I suppose that Tamiya ones are good.
Yeah. I just like the Tamiya motors. The TZ, the RZ, the torque tuned, the GT tuned is a good one, which we got in the my mind's gone blank.
Monster Beetle, was it in?
Blitzer Beetle. Yeah. GT tuned and the Blitzer Beetle.
I suppose there's a conversation to be had about how yes, okay, we mod ours, so they're not true Tamiyas and they're not box art. But I think with motors, it's just that extra stage that I'm not willing to go down. No,
Tamiya do the brushless motor, but I think it retails at around £90. But is there any point that we're going to get an extra 5 mile an hour using NIM battery? Obviously, if we went to the LiPo battery, might get a few more mile an hour and push the motor to its limit, but no, sticking brushed.
Yeah. I like the noises that they make, especially when they're under strain. Another question from him is, have you ever been racing in a club, or have you planned to do so, e.g. joined the Iconic Series? No. No. Again, I suppose the problem with clubs is that there's not really many here.
No. There used to be a few years ago around here, but they've all
I don't
disbanded. And
I think the problem is with computers and consoles that kids these days don't want to do RC.
No, they don't. They don't want the. It's more of a middle-aged man. Thing, or lady.
Or lady.
Yeah.
There we go. And his other question is, do you have or owned any Nitro RC cars? No. The reason for me is the noise. They're really, really loud. They, especially where we go early in the morning, you're going to attract attention.
We would have the police.
Yeah. So for me, and also I don't. It's because it's more flammable than a lipo battery.
Yeah, we have enough.
And the cost of fuel these days, bloody hell.
I think. I think it'd be a recipe for disaster, really, if we went down that route.
Yeah, I think we'd have more videos involving fire than cars.
Yeah, it'd be like in The Fall Guy when he sets himself on fire. It'd be like that. Yeah.
There we go. And that's it.
Wow.
So hopefully that's been some answers to some questions.
Yeah, thank you for the questions. They've been very
questioning.
Liberating.
It's been nice to chat.
Yeah, to get things off our chest.
Yeah. I would probably say if you still have more questions, feel free to send them through.
Definitely. Remember, we're not experts.
No.
We just love what we do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hobby.
We
enjoy it. It's fun. You got to use tools you got. Use your imaginations.
Yeah.
And
every day do something that pushes you.
Yeah.
I suppose. Again, if you want to see more videos of us chatting, or if you've got any ideas, or if you've got any suggestions, we're open to things.
Give us locations.
Talk to us. Yeah.
If you want us to go to a certain location,
Japan,
tell us.
So you don't miss out on further videos and similar nonsense, please feel free to comment, definitely subscribe, and press that bell-shaped thingy to be woken up at all hours for further content. But for now, that's your lot.